welcome back to Casting On. I'm doing my best to get back on schedule with these, back to the once a month videos. So today I have a lot of finished objects since last time. And only, well, technically I have 2 whips, but like one is, I'm not really counting as a whip, but whatever. So I'm not 100% sure. I went back and looked through what I showed last time, and I'm pretty sure all of this is new since last time. So, but you may have seen them as whips. So, I guess we'll start with finished items because there's so many. So, the first finished item is this guy. It is my new favorite beanie. It is the Brioche Smioche hat by Michael Shawn, and it's a free pattern. And so the pink is coming out much lighter on camera than it is. It's a much darker pink. But the pink is First Cousins by Izaken Yarn, and that's available at Skein Appeal. The link will be down below. And the contrast color was from the Teeny Button Yarns, A Court of Thorn and Roses. And it's like Don't Let the Hard Days Win. Was it Court of Thorn and Roses or Throne of Glass? Throne of Glass, sorry. I'm confused. It was one of the Sarah J. Maas collection. Whatever. Yeah, so I mean, brioche is reversible, but I like the pink side. As you can see, I just kind of left my ends dangling. But I like the pink dominant side better. So yeah, that's finished item number 1. Finished item number 2, and these aren't in the order that I finished them, it's just they're in the order that are closest to me to grab, is my Outstranding shawl, which is was for the spring shawl knit along that was being hosted by Knitting Natty and Yarnia, a yarn store in New Jersey. And I loved making this pattern. This was one of my favorite shawl patterns I've ever knit. Like, I want to make another one, and it's very rare for me to want to make a pattern more than once. I really like this. So for the main color, I used, it's blowing out a little bit on screen, it was the March Yarnable subscription box, and it was called Shenanigans. And I knew I wanted to use this because I was like, this is too white for me to use for socks. It'll just get filthy right away. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna use this as the main color, but I'm gonna use for the contrast. And in my stash, I had this, so it's a mystery skein, because I got it at a local yarn shop last time I was home in Nova Scotia. Wasn't labeled. I got 2 skeins. They weren't labeled. When I brought them to checkout, the lady was like, "What do I charge you for this?" I was like, because it was in a store that it's kind of like 3 different stores inside one shop, if that makes sense, and the lady who usually takes care of the yarn portion just wasn't there that day. And of course I picked skeins that weren't labeled. She just kind of based it off of some of the other yarn that was there. Most of the yarn they carry is either Nest fibers or Celtic Raven fibers, so odds are it's one of those 2, but I have no idea what the colorway is. But it's probably not going to show up too well, but the colors match the splotches in the Shenanigans almost exactly, like exactly same shades. It's a little crazy. So that is my Outstranding shawl. Next shawl, I've not weaved in the ends at all. I don't think I've shown this. No, I couldn't have. So this, I probably showed it as a whip, but I finished the Inclinations shawl. This one's a beast. So you haven't woven in my ends yet. Well, I wove them and I haven't clipped them. This is my Inclination shawl by Andrea Mowry. It's one of her newer patterns. Yeah, this guy is huge. And it is made entirely out of my own hand spun. So this was really nice to knit an entire project out of yarn that I spun. Super fun knit. I really liked it. Now I love black and pink, so like this is, I really liked knitting this. So, and this is gonna be so cozy come winter, like so cozy. I will not be cold. I really liked knitting this. And you'll see how much I like knitting it in a second. But let's finish off with socks. So, again, I don't think I showed these last time. Sorry if I did. I've already worn them, so there's cat hair on them. But these are a pattern that I'm currently having tested. So it's just a simple broken rib shorty sock, and I used Lang Jowl yarn, and I'd say it's a little bit, I don't really want to use the word rustic because it's not really rustic, but it's sturdier than your average sock yarn, I'd say. Not quite as sturdy as like Patton's Croy, but like getting there. And it did come with this special little, like, part of the reason I wanted to try it is it came with this special little, like, reinforcement thread that you're supposed to use for the heels and toes. I tried it, I hated it. I ripped back the heel with it because it made it so thick and lumpy, I didn't like it. But I'll hang on to the thread in case I develop a hole. I can easily just stitch it up. But yeah, and these are super bright, like these are blowing out hard. They're super neon. But I really enjoyed the yarn. Like I would buy it again. I would knit more socks with it. I just wouldn't bother using the thread that came inside. So this is my last finished object. This is the May. Yes, I'm like, I don't even know what month it is. I wore these as well. So there's cat hair on these too. This is my May submission for the Desert Vista Dye Works monthly sock club knit along thing. And so the colorway is Zombody Bobbin for Apples, which one thing I recently learned, her colorways that are like Zombody blah blah blah, all of them will have like these breaks, so it's like solid and then a break of like a speckled stripe, solid break of speckled, and that is what is her zombie colorways, is they will all have at least like the color separated by the rows of the speckles, which is neat. I should tell you about the pattern. So I just kind of made it up as I went along. I didn't really want to do just a plain vanilla, so I just did some eyelets, some purl stitches, some just plain stockinette, and repeated that. Honestly, I may write up a pattern for this, I might not. It's pretty simple. Let me know in the comments, do you guys want me to write up a pattern for this and have it tested? One thing I was thinking was just putting the leg repeat on the Ravelry page, but I know not everyone can access Ravelry. Yeah, maybe I'll have these tested, we'll see. I also have a shawl pattern testing right now, so I'll think about it. But it was a fun knit. I enjoyed making it. A little bit of detail. Her yarn is lovely. So her yarn is a 75/25, and I think this is my second time I'm knitting with this, or I guess third time knitting with a 75/25. I really like it. I like it much more than an 80/20. So going forward, I might, if I have the option to get a 75/25 stock yarn, I probably will. I just find the stitches a little bit crisper. But yeah, that's all my finished objects. My one whip, so my kind of unofficial whip is I'm still working on my sea glass tee. I finished the body. I don't like how the ribbing turned out, so I think I'm gonna rip it back and redo the ribbing. And I'm kind of like, ugh, do I do that before I start the sleeves, or do I do the sleeves and then fix the ribbing? It's on hold right now, but like that one I don't really have a timeline for. It's kind of like a scrappy project. So my one whip is the Inclinations cowl. So Andrew Mary came out with a cowl version of course I'm in the middle of a row, a cowl version of the Inclinations shawl, and I instantly bought it and started knitting it. So it is, sometimes it's hard to see what you're seeing. As soon as I put my head in frame, it tries to focus on me. But so I'm using as you can see, there's kind of like gray throughout it. So I'm using some leftover True North Creative headliner that I used in my Spellman sweater. And then I'm just using a whole bunch of like Row One minis. If you've never heard of Row One, you should definitely check it out. It's a great subscription box where you get these little 10-gram minis. You get 10 10-gram minis every month from a different indie dyer, and they come in these little like already wound up balls, so you don't have to cake them yourself, and they're always labeled with like the dyer and the colorway in case you really like it, want to buy more. I had that right the first time, didn't I? Nope, geez. But yeah, I really like these. I stopped getting it just because it built up really quickly. I had so many minis, but I'm getting down on my minis, so I might start getting it again soon. But yeah, I really enjoyed this pattern, obviously enough to then knit the cowl version. So, and I think the like shawl version came out so big because I was using my hand spun, which, you know, isn't exact, like the gauge is off, but like it's interesting. It is an interesting texture. But yeah, don't really have any acquisitions. Not that I didn't buy yarn, but I went to New York, and so I have a separate video on the channel that is the New York yarn haul. Go check that out. Other than that, it was just Yarnable subscription, which is also on the channel. Go check that out as well. And that's it. Really, I was trying to clear the needles for summer sock camp. So next video is going to be a whole bunch of socks. So I think honestly what I might do today is go through my, because it starts tomorrow officially, so I might go through my yarn and kind of pick out which ones I'm going to use and cake them up. Or at least cake some of them up. I hate caking yarn, so what I usually try and do is just kind of pick a whole bunch and cake it all up in one, in one go, just because I hate caking yarn. But yeah, that is everything. Yeah, this is a bit of a quicker video, but yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Oh, there is also there were some updates at Skein Appeal. So there's a whole bunch of Pride themed project bags and some candy themed stitch markers. I'll leave the link to Skein Appeal down below. I really enjoyed sewing this batch. I got some fabric from a fabric designer maker person in the States, and it was because they're all designed and then screen printed like custom for you. Like I didn't tell her what to, like you choose from her patterns and then she custom prints the like dimensions that you ask for. And of course I wasn't expecting there to be customs, but then there were customs, and it was just like, whew, This was some expensive fabric, so I won't be I won't be ordering from there often, but it was a special treat for a special occasion. So yeah, honestly, one of my favorites is, it's like a rainbow bag. It's like a blue background with a whole bunch of rainbows, and I really like the fabric. It's really, it pops. My other favorite is, there's one that it's like unicorn skeletons, and they're like all rainbowed. It's super cool. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun sewing project bags. There's some non-Pride theme project bags still in the shop. Some non-candy stitch markers as well, but the candy ones are so fun. But yeah, go check them out. Hope you find something you like. And I will see you next month with a whole bunch of socks. Happy knitting.